Hey everybody, welcome to Hope City 7 at 7. Thanks so much for joining me tonight or whenever you're joining me. So thankful for you. We have started a new series, we started it last week for Easter, called This Changes Everything. And the subtitle this week was Let It Shine. Can you see me now? Yes? No? How about now? Okay. Is this any better? Okay. So what was the point of that? Well, we'll get to that. So Pastor John was talking about how we can let our light shine. And I want to go through a few verses in Ephesians. And Paul was writing to the Ephesians, if I'm getting that correct, about being imitators of God. And the version I'm reading out of is the Amplified Version. And this is Ephesians 5, 8 through 13. For once you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. Live as those who are native born to the light. For the fruit, the effect, or the result of the light consists in all goodness and righteousness and truth. Trying to learn by experience what is pleasing to the Lord and letting your lifestyles be examples of what is most acceptable to Him. Your behavior expressing gratitude to God for your salvation. Now, our behavior is not just, our good behavior is not, because we feel obligated. It's just because we are so thankful to God for what He's done for us. Okay, moving on. Do not participate in the worthless and unproductive deeds of darkness, but instead expose them by exemplifying personal integrity, moral courage, and godly character. For it's disgraceful even to mention the things that such people practice in secret. But all things become visible when they are exposed to the light of God's precepts, for it is light that makes everything visible. And I looked it up in the Mirror Translation, just verse 13. It says, darkness, I love this, darkness loses its grip upon that which light manifests. Light displaces darkness. And when I was reading that, I felt like I should look up in the dictionary the word displaces. I know what it means, but so I looked it up. But one of the definitions of displace is to remove from a position, office, or dignity. So in other words, a place of power. So light removes darkness from a place of power in our lives. That's really good. And so what does all this junk have to, not junk, but what does all this have to do with the junk of the, having the light shining in your eyes? Well, if you've ever been in a dark room or just a dark space and somebody comes in there and they do this to you to help you get out, it's not very helpful because you actually still can't see, even though there's light right in the room, right? Because you're shining it right in the person's eyes. They can sort of see, but things are a little bit shadowy and hazy, okay? And so what is our job as Christians as far as what we do with our light? It's much better when we light up the pathway for other people so that they can see the pathway to righteousness. It's God's job to do the hard stuff, this kind of stuff, because when we do it, this is what happens. When we want to point out other people's mess or wrongdoings or whatever, that's God's job, because it's a mess when we do it, and they can't see it, blinds them. But God has a way of doing that, so it doesn't do that to people. But if we will light up the path in front of them, they can see, and we can actually help them get out of that dark place. How do we do that? I mean, this is kind of, parable-ish or riddle-ish, the way I'm talking, but real life, real world application of this looks like, first of all, learning the character of God and just imitating that, like Paul is trying to talk to the Ephesians about, learning God's character and imitating that to people. And in real life application at work, that looks like showing love to the person that that is really mean to you, or that actually does horrible things to you, maybe is trying to get you fired. It looks like forgiving people, a friend, a quote-unquote friend that has treated you wrong, forgiving that person, being kind to people that aren't necessarily kind to you. Those types of things are what lights up the path to righteousness for those people so that they can see a way out. It actually reminds me of in Romans 8 when it talks about, I'm going to look it up real quick. Okay, I'm running out of time. Sorry. Romans 8, I think. Nope, maybe it's 12. Yeah, Romans 12, sorry. 12:20, it says, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. These acts of kindness will be like heaping coals of fire on his head, and certainly rid him of the dross or the junky stuff in his mind and win him as a friend. And so you're lighting up that path for them. You're helping to pave the way for righteousness for those people when you are shining your light and just being an imitator of God. Hope this has helped you tonight. Hope it all made sense. Love you guys. Bye-bye.